Hello, everyone. Oz Konar here with Business Lending Blueprint. Before we get started, let's do an audio and video check. I see some people are already in the chat. Joseph, you said that you might attend. Hopefully you make it. Rose De Leon, I have a son, wants to start a business fixing cars for profit. Good or bad idea? We can talk about it. Suki, follow-up business also lenders interesting. All right, perfect. Yeah, guys, before we get started, we have we're going to have a full discussion on this business model that maybe some of you have heard of, but I'm going to break it down in a manner that everyone will be clear by the end of our live today. And you can make a decision if that's a suitable idea for you to entertain them and think about. But all right, I can see that I'm live. Can you give me a yes in the chat? I know this is a live, so there's going to be a few seconds of delay. But today if you saw this, you're probably in my email list, and at some point, maybe recently, you looked into starting your own business or helping existing businesses get access to capital. I'm going to talk about that business model because we get literally, no joke, like hundreds of emails every single day from people who look into this business model and they're trying to wrap their head around how it works and is it a good idea? Because everyone, like America is a very entrepreneurial country, right? Everyone wants to start their own business, but the idea of instead of starting another business, what if you can help the existing businesses get access to capital, and how do you build a business around it, and what do you need? What exactly do you need for that business to be successful, right? Because the success in business is measured in transactions, like money you generate, income you generate. So we're going to talk about all of that. But I want to get a couple of yeses from people who are live right now that you can hear me okay and you can see me fine. Can you give me a yes if you can hear me and you can see me okay, so I can go on and I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. Denise, I see that you said yes. I'm assuming that's a yes to my earlier question that the audio and the video is okay. Kenneth says yes. Normal says yes. Awesome. So that's enough yeses for me to get started. One question to the audience, and if you're watching this after the live, you're watching the recording, obviously, after we finish this. This is currently live, but if you're watching it later, you're watching a recorded version, but feel free to subscribe and like this channel so you come across more content like this, because what we're going to be talking about today will only be known by a very small percentage of the population. Otherwise, they will not hear about this business model at all. This is not like a mainstream business, such as starting your own, I don't know, small brick and mortar business, or it's not like starting an e-commerce business and selling on Amazon. It's not like investing in crypto. It's not like investing in stock market. It's not like starting a franchise. It's a way better option than all of them. You can basically help all of those people get access to capital and make money doing that. So that's what we're going to be covering. Steven says yes. Suki says yes. Gregory says yes. Awesome. So one question is, who here knows about business loan brokerage? Who here knows about this industry? Whether you know a little bit or a lot, just let me know. Give me a number one, if you already know a little bit about business lending industry. Maybe you are from the industry, so I know my audience a little bit, so I can customize our discussion today. Perfect. So Denise, what exactly do you do? Normal knows about this. Stephen, Curtis, Gregory. Okay, good. We have a bunch of yeses, one is defined as you're familiar with the lending industry. Can you give me an idea as to what it is that you do right now? Are you existing business loan brokers, and what kind of options do you offer currently? Alan says one. Dwayne, one. Just reading some of the earlier comments. Cool. So alternative lending industry is in existence for a while. So what's been happening over the past, if you kind of go back in history a little bit, over the past 200 years, the banking system in the U.S. Has been evolving, right? They were founded by two guys two separate finance professionals who built the banking system, the financial services industry in the United States. What had happened after that is the whole system follows like a very closed loop process that leaves out ordinary people from taking advantage of it, right? So all of you have credit cards that you probably use, debit cards you use credit to buy a house or buy a car. But there are only a couple of entities that take advantage of that. Those are the banks, right? So the government requires you to open a checking account for you to put your money in. You put your paycheck in there, and if you have like a 401k distribution, it's taken out of those accounts and put it into an investment account. However, with the money that you put into the system takes that money, lends it back out to you at a very high interest, right? If you take a loan from a bank or if you use it in the form of a credit card, your interest rate is probably over double figures, like 20-25% interest. However, with your money, the interest you get on your own money is like abysmal. Like that's just less than 1%. So it's not a fair game. The game itself was rigged. And with the creation of the alternative lending industry, we're flipping the game on the banking system. Now you are empowered as the individual. As long as you're an ambitious person and want to not only generate income or want to build something sustainable, you can basically become a bank in the alternative lending industry, taking advantage of the lenders and the lending options, become the middleman and take advantage of this. Up until this point, up until a few years ago, that was not really possible. That's the idea of becoming a business loan broker in the alternative lending industry. One question that's common is that why would the businesses go through you as the business loan broker versus them going through a bank? The problem is that the disapproval rate on a small business loan, so let's say you have a small business, brick and mortar deli shop. They sell, whatever they sell on a day-to-day basis. They sell the bread and the sandwiches and all that stuff, and the fridge breaks. A fridge is very important equipment for them, and they need to buy it, right? And let's say they don't have the credit cards to do that. They apply for a loan. Small businesses apply for a loan all the time, and the disapproval rate, like denial rate on those applications, is over 85%. So the immediate thought that what would make sense is, well, I give my money to the bank, I should be able to go back and borrow some money, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way. Banking system is designed to lend money if you have collateral, if you already have a large company, if you have a lot of employees. But if you're a small guy, the odds of you getting anything approved, any type of loan approved, is very low. And even if you get the approval, it's not going to be, for the most part, it's not going to be in the amount that you wanted. It's less, which gave birth to the creation of the alternative lending industry. So alternative lending industry provides alternative, like the name suggests, funding options to these small businesses. And this is done on an individual basis, right? There are lenders. These are private lenders who give their money. Some of them are backed up by hedge fund managers, Wall Street people, individual investors like myself, and they believe in the American small business systems, small business economy, and you lend money. And then as a business loan broker, you put yourself right in the middle of a transaction. Someone who wants to get the funding, someone who gives them the funding. By becoming a business loan broker, you're collecting a percentage of that transaction. That's how simple the business model is. You're becoming the middle guy and making introductions. And the people who need the funding, we're going to talk about how to find them. Who wants to know how to find new loan broker leads on a daily basis? I'm going to cover that too, if that's an interest. Norman says, I'm a residential mortgage broker and have done merchant credit card advances in the past. I'm sorry, I said Norman. It's Normal Melton. So that's great. So merchant cash advance is one of the funding options, but there are so many other funding options that you can help your customers get. Merchant cash advance is an advance. It's not a loan, right? However, it's a 911 type of funding option, meaning that it's emergency funding. If someone needs capital like tomorrow, for example, within our network, Business Lending Blueprint, we have lenders who can approve a deal today and fund it, like put the money in the business owner's bank account tomorrow, and they pay very large commissions because it is expensive money, right? Because of the urgency. Otherwise, a small business, usually when they do need money, there's a good chance that they will need it as soon as possible. It's also a great fit for those who have a pretty bad credit, right? If their credit score is not that good, they don't have collateral, but there's some kind of emergency that the deal needs to happen. merchant credit card advances are awesome, or merchant cash advance, or MCA, there are alternative names to it. However, normal, if you're just doing that, you're leaving a lot of money on the table because the alternative lending space is very expansive. There are so many other options like a business line of credit or 0% funding options. So the same person who wanted to get the merchant cash advance through you, you could have probably helped him get so many other funding options that are much cheaper, better terms. However, merchant cash advance is needed, right? It's not going anywhere. Some businesses do need it, and when you do help them with that, you always want to set them up in a better place, so for the future they don't need it, right? That's why we train our members in our community on business credit building. So the people that we help, small businesses, yeah, we want to solve the immediate problem. You might need to set them up with merchant cash advance. However, we want to help them build their business credit so in the future they're in a better situation so they can get qualified for government-backed funding, like SBA loans or equipment financing. Someone is buying an equipment or a truck. The rates on those are much better. So every one of those transactions, you get a cut of that. That's why it's a great idea if you're a mortgage broker yourself, or if you're in any type of business that you deal with businesses. It's adding funding to your existing business is so vital because a lot is changing in 2025. We have the AI, we have a new government. Many things that just used to work will change. And one of the ways to stay afloat is to be in a recession-proof industry. A recession-proof industry being the funding industry. If the economy goes up, people will need money to grow and expand. If the economy goes down, people will money to buy more equipment, to buy more stuff, to survive, to hire more people, or make the payroll next week, right? So one unchanging fact is that no matter what happens, people will see opportunities. When there's a recession, more people will be let go of their jobs. And in the United States, they will want to start their own business. Well, what is the number one thing that they need when they want to start their own business? They will need capital. So we usually see a boost in new businesses through recession. And then if you're in a position to provide startup funding, you can help them grow. If the economy is going well, so there's existing small businesses that want to buy more inventory that requires more cash. They want to expand, business expansion. So there are business expansion loans. That's another option, right? And there's a whole, like for someone who's in the mortgage industry, there's a whole different avenues of providing funding to people who want to buy real estate, investment real estate, right? When the residential market is slow, usually the commercial market picks up. As Warren Buffett says, when there's blood on the street, you invest. When everyone is talking about how great the economy or the real estate market is, you stop investing. So those are all, I just went through probably 10 different funding options in the past minute. They've all fall under alternative lending. So you don't have to just revert back to one option. Joshua, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here. Normal says, thanks, great idea. Yeah. Kenneth, the collateral to make sure the payments are made and money is paid back. Kenneth, you're right. For most options, at least the options that we cover, there is no collateral requirement. When you go to a bank, they want to get a loan, especially if you want to get a large loan, it's collateralized. What that means is you're going to put up your house as a safeguard. If you don't pay the money back to the bank, or if your business fails, you lose your house too, your car, whatever it is. So alternative lending is not collateralized. That's why the approval process, the underwriting process is relatively straightforward. For example, most of our members on their business lending blueprint, all they have to do is get somebody's name, email, and phone number, send it to us, and then we provide the funding to them and they get paid. So you can just refer and earn, or you can be more involved, right? I'm going to walk you through a model I call the cash flow quadrant, so you're going to see it. But since we're chatting a little bit, I just wanted to provide some kind of a welcome message to get you guys warmed up for what we're doing today. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Oz Konar, as you can see on the screen from my title. I'm the founder of a company called Business Lending Blueprint. We are the largest training company helping ambitious people get into this industry, right? Because the number one problem in the United States is the financial illiteracy. People do not know their options. They don't understand how money works. They don't understand how credit works. They don't understand how they can leverage other people's money to start businesses, right? Although we have access to Google and ChatGPT and all of that, many people, including businesses, do not know. And our mission is to eradicate financial illiteracy and arm people with options when it comes to funding, credit. The entire US economy was built on debt, right? I understand the need to cutting the credit cards. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, saving money, if you're that type of person, that's awesome, meaning that you are optimizing based on saving money. However, if you want to change your current situation and become a high earning individual, you'll have to have your own business, right? For as long as you get paid through a job, when the job is dead or when the owner deems that you're not usable anymore, you're not marketable, you're going to be cut out. So it's important, especially in the next few years, that we all create our own income sources. And understanding lending is so important. So the people who need funding money are all around you. Based on statistics, 72% of the adults in the United States at some point thought about starting their own business. They had the idea of, oh man, that would be good to have a business on. And number one reason that stopped them from doing so is the lack of capital, credit, right? When someone needs more money, they go online and type out best credit cards to apply, and they're randomly applying the credit cards. And then they think that's the way to go. They don't know that there are so many options, grants, startup funding through the government. And once you arm yourself with that knowledge, not only you can use it for your own needs, what we're providing at Business Lending Blueprint, you can turn it into a business. That's how I started out. I come from a humble beginning, grew up in an immigrant family, came to the United States when I was 16 years old after being separated from my father for 11 years, and came here, went to college, like followed the system, did double major. I was pre-med. Once I graduated, got my bachelor's degree, I noticed something is wrong with this picture. I was already in debt because of my student loans. I said, I need to make money. I'm not going to go back to that cycle of having to share a piece of bread with my sisters because we didn't have enough money. I don't want to go back to that cycle of having our father have to leave us because he needs to go to the United States to make more money, right? So when you live through that, you understand the importance of financial literacy. We just didn't know enough about how money worked. And it became a passion project for me. I started going into the sales and the marketing industry. One day I came across the alternative lending industry, and that day changed my life. Someone handed me a $4,000 check by just giving him a name, email, and phone number. I'll never forget that day. So I was doing my door-to-door sales. If anyone is from New York City, you know that the colds are very cold, hots are very hot. It was winter. It's like extremely cold. I'm pulling on doors to sell credit card processing and different like equipments and things like that to make money. And someone says, hey man, like you're working with a lot of restaurants. Do they need money, like funding? I'm like, yeah, all the time. They're small businesses, they need something in the kitchen. They need to buy new chairs. They need to renovate. They need to hire more people. Yeah, just all day long. It's like, yeah, what if you introduce me to a few people? Maybe I can help them. And if I end up providing them funding, I'll give you a cut of the deal. I'm like, works with me. Because they ask me all the time. I gave them 4 names, and one of them apparently got the funding. I didn't understand what he told me, went over my head. The only thing I heard is that, hey, you can help these people get access to money. I said, sure, all day long. And I wasn't even expecting anything out of it. And when he told me that, hey, we need to meet up, I'm going to hand you your check, I honestly thought I was going to get, I don't know, $100, $200. I didn't expect the check to be $4,000, right? That's life-changing money for most people. Like they work an entire month to net $4,000. Yeah, you might have a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 salary, but after you take out the taxes and all that stuff and your commute time, you're barely just keeping 4,000, maybe less, maybe a little more. So getting that lump sum from a stranger that I didn't know, obviously anyone with half the brains would want to figure out how that industry works. And that's exactly what I did. I jumped on the bandwagon, studied the industry, started working with alternative lending companies, and this is like a decade ago, right? Made all the mistakes that you can make. Like I was doing telemarketing, cold calling, pulling on the doors. I had no idea what I was doing, right? And I only had access to one product. That was like Merchant Cash Advance. And as I gained more expertise, I built my brokerage. I helped other brokerages to grow. That gave the idea of what we have right now, which is called Business Lending Blueprint. It's like an academy. It's a training system for average people to learn the tricks that were only available to Ivy League people or ultra rich or hedge fund managers. So you have access to these knowledge assets that each one could be worth millions of dollars, and you can pass it down to your kids, but use it to generate income. That idea that flourished in my mind of like, hey, I need to understand about money, because you look at 10 different people, you notice that some of them make big in life, usually 1 to 2% of that. The rest just struggle throughout the life because, then they start blaming the economy, blaming the government, the president, where they live, how they were brought up, their parents, and all of that. And there is truth to all of it, right? I'm not saying that there's no truth, but the most of it comes down to individual not understanding their options and not how to take advantage of the system. System is rigged against average people. I think everyone agrees here. Like, let me know if you disagree with that. If you agree that, if you think that system is set up extremely fairly, that everyone is treated the same, you get what you deserve. That's not what happens. Okay. So you don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. If you tolerate financial illiteracy, if you don't go out of your way and get access to information, if you don't invest in yourself, your life is very unlikely to change. Right. Greg, I have Greg here. Shout out to the BLB family. For those thinking about joining, I can attest to this. It is the real deal. Thanks, Greg Phillips. Appreciate you, buddy. The startup funding options, you mentioned SBA or other lenders. There are other options. There are some SBA startup options, Lonnie Phillips, but there are other lenders that you can, for those with good credit, you can get what's called SLOC, syndicated line of credit card stacking. What's up, Kathy? Good to see you here. Jala, hey Oz, BLB member here. Thank you for creating BLB. Jala, yeah, awesome. Obviously, I can't tell from your name, but obviously you're a BLB member. Appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are joining too, because one thing I learned from my mentors is that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, right? A lot of the things that I am talking about, you probably heard before, but you need to be involved in an industry that is gonna is longer lasting than these fads that you join, right? So everyone wants to search for ideas of how to start the best business online, this and that. People will do that. The group of people who are on this call and who follow us and what we do, you need to separate yourself from the masses, right? If you look at the masses and if you think everyone is happy with their decisions, that's a major problem. If you want to be at the top 5% of the U.S. economy, you got to do things that are different than the herds of people, right? That's why you join calls like this and educate yourself on financial tools that have been in your arsenal, but only a few people know, like these funding options. Look at the questions. Alicia, what's up? Good to have you here. Nadia, hi there. Alan, thank you, Alan. Yeah, so a lot of people, you see many people referring our program as BLB, as you can see from the logo, I guess on this side. Yeah, Business Standing Blueprint. We have a massive community of passionate individuals who made a decision to change their lives for the better by being on the right vehicle. Most people that I meet, they're not couch potatoes. They're not lazy. It's not that they don't want to do the work. They have been on the wrong vehicle. My father was like that. He's the hardest working person that I've known, but financially he kept failing. And always, like, when you grow up with that idea, it doesn't make sense to you. You keep saying, that's not fair. Like, how is my dad different than this person who's making 200K a year and he's making 3K a year, right? It doesn't make sense. It takes a while for you to notice that, well, it's not a fair game. But it is in our power to invest in ourselves to figure out how that works. For that reason, we created Business Landing Blueprint. I'm going to show you a couple of images here that'll help you visualize how it works internally. Then, this call is a discussion. You can ask me questions, and if you're interested in finding out more about what we do, you can definitely schedule a call with my team and talk to them to see if it is a good fit or not, right? So we're not going to push you to do anything. My goal from today's live is to leave you more informed than you were before you joined today, right? So what you do with your decision, we're all grown adults. It's up to you. However, I truly do believe that there are things that's costing you money because you just don't know about it, right? Kathy says we're family at BLB. That's for sure, Kathy. So I'm just gonna share my screen quickly. And please confirm if you can see my screen, please. I'm just going to kill this. So let's go there. Can you see my screen? Okay, Gregory, yes. Yeah, what you're looking at is something, a presentation I put together a while ago for our internal community of people who opted in to jump on a Zoom call with me. So this is a quick illustration. You can see my drawing skills and graphic design skills here. So you are the stick figure in the middle. If you choose to accept this mission, like a mission impossible, right? There are a lot of startups and small businesses in the US, and they need capital and credit and funding. And for the most part, they're not aware of their options, right? So they make bad choices. That's why the failure rate of a small business in US is 85%, right? So because you don't learn about running a business when you go to school. You don't learn about running a business when you don't go to school. It's like a no-win situation, lose-lose situation. No one teaches you how to run a business properly. So you go to school of hard knocks and start a bunch of businesses, fail a bunch of them. Like my first 4 businesses completely failed because I had no idea what I was doing. It took 6 years to make my first million. Now I'm currently running an 8-figure a year company. However, that took 10 years of like trial and error, and also investing over $1 million in my own education. Those are huge numbers. I know that. But again, I was very passionate about solving this problem for generations, not just for myself, right? So this is the real question. How does it work? You become, and you can see from my diagrams, I try to keep things very simple. You become the middle person between the people who have the money and the people who need the money. And the people who need the money are all around you. You could be one of them, right? And by facilitating these transactions, you make them happen. We have Alicia on the live call with us. She's one of our coaches. She's been in this industry for so many years, over 15 years, and facilitated a couple of $1 billion so far by training the other brokers to do the same. She's a part of BLB, and that's how you make money. And there are different ways to make money. What I created is I copycatted Robert Kiyosaki's concept. Who knows like what rich dad, poor dad is, like Robert Kiyosaki. You might like him, you might hate him, and I'm indifferent. But I like that how he simplified a game to explain how the economic system works through this cash flow quadrants. If you're an employee, you're selling hours for money, right? If you're a business owner, you have other people and they make money on your behalf. So you're not just selling your money for a dollar. You're not just selling your time for certain dollars. You have other people doing it. If you're self-employed, you're like a glorified employee. You're still selling your time for money. If you're an investor, you have money work for you. So I think we all get the basic concept, the framework of how this works. The problem I have with this doesn't tell me what to do. All right, Mr. Kiyosaki, this is a great idea. I get that. I need to be a business owner at the very least, or I need to be an investor. But what vehicle do I use for that? It was not specific. I read this book when I was like 18 years old with my like very intermediate level English. I understood the concept, but it took me another 10 years to figure out what to do with this. So I don't want people who are looking into this industry go through the same problem. That's why I modified it and I created the business loan broker cash flow quadrant. I said, if I were to design this in a way that will help most people, regardless of their background, if they're not from the financial services industry, if they've never done deals before, they're not from the Wall Street, they don't have degrees in formal education and whatnot. So I created the BLB cash flow quadrant. So there are 4 different ways you can make money in the alternative lending industry. I think this diagram will help you clarify it, and I'll take questions, right? One is refer and earn. We have many people who just want to make some side income. They don't necessarily hate on their boss or their job, and they're happy, which is okay. Like you don't need to hate on someone who's happy. And maybe they think they have a bright future with where they have, they're going to get promoted and all that stuff. Or maybe they already have a business and business is doing well. They can refer and earn. We call it RE. You refer and earn. You find people who are looking for capital, and you don't necessarily need to understand the whole back end of how the alternative lending works and what product they're going to qualify for and at what price point and all that. You just want to have a system where you can send somebody's name and email and phone number, and the rest will be handled by the system itself. That's a refer and earn. That's a good way to generate a few $1,000s a month. Sometimes you have more a month than the money that you have at the end of the month, right? So you get your salary or you generate income through your business. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to spend more time on what you have because it's not going to equate to higher results, right? You just want something on the side. People call it side gig or side business. That's perfectly fine. Or you just want to just focus on generating a lot of leads and send it over. That's the first quadrant that you see here on the left. On the right, partner and earn. Partner and earn is if you want to be involved with the customers because you own the customer, right? So it could be someone, it could be your dad, your cousin, your nephew, someone that you've known for 10 years, friends from your college, or people in your neighborhood, or maybe you already have a job that makes you deal with other businesses, and you want to offer them funding. We have the partner and earn. Partner and earn means that you're not just sending name, email, and phone number. Now you understand the document that you need to collect from somebody. And if you have a few people who are from the mortgage industry, like if you ever try to buy a home for yourself, the amount of document you sign is insane. Like it's just as thick as my head. Like you go through, now a lot of it is signed through the DocuSign, but you have so much paperwork, which is very exhausting, right? Not in this industry. Usually all we need, when I talk about submitting the file, I'm talking about this quadrant here, right? When I'm talking about submitting the file, it is simple as a one-page application, which we give it to you, and like 3-4 months of somebody's business bank statement. So our underwriting team can look at the file and put offers on the table. And when someone is approved, we can go ahead and present the offer to them and provide the funding. That's the second category. The first tier is refer and earn, the simplest way to generate income by simply asking people, are you looking for funding? Yes. Is it okay if I introduce you to someone who can help you with that? Yes. Is it okay if I share your information with them so they can call you and check out what they can do? Yes. Good. Refer and earn. You do it enough number of times, you're going to start making money, right? Partner and earn is you collect the documentation, you send it over to our funding team. We match it against our extensive lending network of the lenders and lending partners. And once the file is approved, you don't need to know how to sell them, how to close them. We can go ahead and contact the client on your behalf, make them the offer. Usually we're going to have a couple of offers on the table. And once they accept it, they get the money in their bank account and you get paid as is your commission, usually within 4 to 7 days, like as fast as possible. And the average commission on these deals are $2,000 to $5,000. I want that to, just let that sink in, right? $2,000 to $5,000 from a single transaction. Most people work 40 hours, 50 hours a week, every single day, like Monday through Saturday, usually 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, to clear $5,000 to $6,000 net a month. With this, one funded deal can generate $2,000 to $5,000, obviously depending on factors such as the size of the deal, what funding option you provide. Is like a startup funding, is a real estate deal, or is it like an existing business buying equipment? Again, you don't need to understand all of that. The third quadrant is for people who want to really become a business loan broker, like officially. So this is where we train people who want to make serious money. This is the area that when you master it, usually the average income of people who are taking action and doing this can go as high as like 30, 40K per month, right? So if you go through, you're watching this on YouTube, obviously, if you haven't subscribe to the channel and like this video, please. This is when you go back to our YouTube channel. Don't do it now. You might lose your screen. We have countless, literally hundreds of like actual video testimonials of me sitting down and chatting with an existing member and having them share their experience. And we have single moms with 3 kids. We have single dads. We have construction people. We have existing business loan brokers who got stuck and couldn't crack the code, and they're now scaling. We have mortgage people, insurance people. We have young people, old people. So that those kind of demographics do not matter as long as you're someone ambitious. I refuse to offer help to someone who's just lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I work 12 to 14 hours a day, usually 7 days a week. You're not required to do that. You can put in a couple of hours a day. But if someone is not coachable and they're not ready to invest a little bit of time and money into themselves, it's very difficult to do it on your own, right? Because you're going against the odds. Remember, the game is kind of rigged. So for you to do it on your own, that's why I always, even when I didn't have money, I put it on credit card to get coaching, because I don't have enough lifetime. We only live, what, 60 to 80 years? How am I going to figure out the game that's 200 years old in my lifespan and hoping that I make all the correct moves? It's better to talk to someone who's done it before and learn off of their experiences. Now, that's the third category, broker and earn, right? So the way that works is just as each step is building off of the previous step. Now, you submit the file, we close the deal, but you say, hey man, like, I'm confident and I want to learn the whole thing. I want to present the offer to the customer once I get the approval. So you submit the file, we offer it, we get the approval for you, and then you take the file back to your customer, right? You present it, you close the deal, and that's why I have the $3 signs, because this is the most lucrative option for you to generate income. That's a lot of the people that you see on our video interviews. They're the ones who are doing the closing a lot of times. That's why you hear numbers such as, oh, I closed one deal and made 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. And fair disclaimer, guys, I'm not trying to hype this up, okay? So results will not be typical. You're going to sow what you reap. You're going to reap what you sow. So if you put very little effort, you're going to make very little or no income. Most people, again, we're talking about changing the game and placing yourself within the top 1 to 5% of US. So you got to do things differently than most people if you want your life to be different than most people. So most people will see a training like that and they'll say, kudos, good job, Oz, I like it, or I don't like it, and they'll do nothing with it. Therefore, they will generate zero results. So I'm talking about people who actually follow a system, take action, and do what we suggest them to do, because our system is battle tested. Like, we have more than 6,000 business loan brokers. We made all the mistakes, and the BLB has been around since 2018. So most businesses, again, fail within a year to 2 years. And behind me, you're seeing all the awards and accolades. We made it to the fastest growing companies in the United States in 3 years in a row, Inc. 5000, right? All of these principles are passed down to our members. As you can see, I'm doing a Facebook Live, and we have a lot of our existing members. So great to have you guys. Appreciate you being here. And again, investing in your own education over and over again. So the last thing is that I always get this question, hey, Oz, this is nice and dandy. I want to make a lot of money. I want to start a business and whatnot. But what is the end goal? Most businesses do not have an end goal, right? So you just keep plugging in what you have to do. Your hourly rate might have gone up tremendously, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you're selling your time. Yeah, right? So there's no such a thing as that. It's like you don't do anything and you make money, right? So look at Taylor Swift, right? She still sells her time by just giving these concerts. She has to be there. She can't just swap herself with somebody else. And her recent tour made over $1 billion. She's still selling her time, but a much higher hourly rate, right? So that's what we're trying to get to. Yeah, you're going to put in, usually we recommend people who are looking into this, hey, can you put in an additional hour a day on top of what you're doing, right? 1 hour, one additional hour a day. And from there, once you start seeing results, you're going to want to spend more time on this, right? So if you're a business loan broker, the third quadrant, I have people who are generating 30, 40K per month. These are full-time business loan brokers, because it wouldn't make sense to do anything else, honestly, right? At that point, because you can kill your job. You can just, kill any other business that you're doing, just focus on this. But the question is, this is not like, signing a contract saying that you're going to put in X amount of time. It is your decision. That's why I started out by saying that this could be a side income thing, or it could be a full-on thing. The fourth category people want to know about is, how do you turn it into a passive income? Going back to Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants, how do you have your money make more money? That's called the fund and earn. You can become a lender in this industry. Let that sink in for a second. In traditional banking, you and I cannot go ahead and start our own bank. I can't start a bank tomorrow competing with Chase, and I can't just name it Oz Bank or Business Lending Blueprint Bank, right? There's so much regulation. You need so much assets under management and things like that. But you can become a lender in the alternative lending industry. It's called syndication. It's a fancy term of basically saying you're trusting the American businesses and you're funding using your own money to fund these deals, right? Last year, myself alone, separate from Business Lending Blueprint, I funded over 360 businesses, small businesses, right? So I went through all of these quadrants. That's why, like, whenever I talk about something, I'm not talking about anything theoretical, because it wouldn't be authentic, right? Because if I didn't do it, it just me giving you the lip service of saying, do this and it will work. No, I've gone through all of these quadrants, and including the last one, the wealth creation model. So once you learn how the business works, then you can have your money generate more money, similar to how banks do that. So banks take your money, use their own money, take money from the government and lend it, and they make an interest out of that. So the final game, the final boss of this game is that fund and earn. You can do partial syndication, meaning that you can provide funding to some of your deals or some percentage of them. For example, let's say you know someone who needs $100,000 and you got the approval. You can basically tell the lender, once you know how you're doing this, that's why we're not starting from fund and earn, right? You can tell the lender, hey, $100,000. How about you fund 75% of that, which is $75,000. I'm going to fund 25% on that, which is $25,000. On that 25,000, you're getting paid as a lender, not as a broker, not as a partner and earn, right? That's one way to exponentially increase your income. The returns, and again, this is not financial advice. I'm just talking about what I have experienced personally. Returns are amazing. Obviously, with any investment, there's risk involved, and this is not something that we sell or offer, anything like that. This is just, I want people to understand what the end game is. And this is a sellable asset. When you build this business, you can either pass it down to your kids because you own the customers. We don't own your customers, right? You're not promoting BLB brand. You own it. Or you can put a manager on it. You can hire teams. It's my obligation to show you the full game. Obviously, it's a lot more attractive to just spend 2 hours talking about refer and earn, but it wouldn't be fair for someone who wants to get to that level to understand what is the end game. Oz, like, am I going to die selling business loans like broker and earn, or do I have a future that I will look forward to, which helps me create passive income? Like most passive income, the catchphrase that you hear online is real estate passive income. You buy a bunch of properties and then hopefully the tenants pay the rent. I tried it. It doesn't work that way. It's not passive, right? It's pretty good. It's not a bad investment vehicle. It is not passive. When it comes to funding businesses, underwriting is done by the lender. The funding is initiated by the lender. Follow-up through on the payments are done by the lender. The legal part is done by the lender. You become a partial lender or full-time lender if you want to. So that's an option. Obviously, that itself requires an extensive training I'm not going to get into right now. I just wanted to show you the cash flow quadrants. I'm just going to go back to the chat to see if there are any questions. Hey, guys, this doesn't have to be a monologue. So if you have any questions, just type it in. I'm going to catch up with it and go back to it. Kathy, I really like this, Oz. Oh, you're sharing your big screen. That's cool. Other side, thanks for inviting me, Mr. Oz. Emmanuel, good to have you here, brother. What is the time frame to learn this business? That's the great part. Just like anything new, there's a learning curve. Obviously, you're exposing yourself to truth that you probably never heard in your life before until this age. But we have people who join and start generating opportunities in a week, 2 weeks, a month. Depends on you get out what you put in. As far as the learning is that we provide you everything. Some people join, and the first question we ask them, who do you know who needs funding? Okay, is it okay if you send it over to us, then we can start talking, as you learn the business, because the business itself is, let's be honest, guys, like the sexiest product to sell is money. Like, can you think of anything else that's more attractive than selling? Like, give me a business, like this is an open discussion, right? So give me a business that is more attractive than offering someone capital. Like, who doesn't want money, right? Since that's the business model, that's how simple it is. And then we give you the system to go through. You can learn on your own pace. You can join our live calls. So we usually have one live call a day. So sometimes 5 to 7 live calls that you can learn on your own pace. Because I know people have different learning modalities. So some people go through recorded content. Some people join live calls like this. We have internal live calls for our own members, only for members only. And then we also have live events, in-person events. Like over the past 12 months, I've done 9 live gatherings in different states in the United States. We never open it up to outside of BLB. It's only with the BLB members. It's usually like intimate 20, 30, 40 people gatherings where we do more in-depth training, because I invest more time with those people because they go out of their way, they book their travel, they show up to a location, we spend time together. Most of my friends are from the BLB community. So for that reason, Emmanuel, I can't prescribe a specific learning time for you, but I can say that it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Nick, I'm now studying your materials to join in the near future. Nick, that's perfectly fine. That's why I'm doing these trainings. So, and we have a lot of trainings. I think we have over 250 videos on our YouTube channel. I suggest everyone to go through and understand it. So that way you are clear on the business itself, but it doesn't take a lot to be clear on the business because it's the business of offering money, right? Any other questions? Or is this cash flow quadrant thing that I created, is that clear, guys? Like even with existing members and anyone else who's watching right now, what are your thoughts on that? If a part of it is not clear, I'd like to explain it further. As you can see, my drawings and everything is very simple, but hey, I can do a deeper dive into any part of this. Curtis says very clear. Great. So moving on, are you guys clear on the business model itself? Like any questions on the business model? Because we're like 45 minutes into it. If no questions on that end, I'd like to walk you through how Business Lending Blueprint works and how you can talk to my team if you're interested in finding out how we can customize this for you with what you have going on. Because a lot of people have a lot going on. You might be busy. You might think that this is going to be too overwhelming, whatever it is. I have an expert team who's been with me for years. They jump on a call with you and customize your success journey to find out the best ways to join, right? ICE, what's the best lead generation software? I don't think there's such a thing as a best lead generation software. Like we have people who are using LinkedIn marketing. We have people who are using email marketing. We have people who are using network marketing meaning not like multi-level marketing, but networking, going to live events. Like, I have an inner circle where people work with me one-on-one. We talk to a lot of them about how becoming a part of a chamber of commerce is the best thing you can do. Another lead generation, if you want to add fuel to the fire and have so many leads, is the paid advertising, right? So within BLB, we show you how to generate leads through paid advertising. As a matter of fact, we have ways to do that through AI. We provide you software to have a conversation with AI and have AI train you on the funding options. So it's not like unlike many other industries, like since our ammo is people who need capital, they're all around you. The question is, which method, which way of generating leads is the most suitable to your background? Because we have some people who never used modern technology, right? So then that's good. So that way we can show them a way for them to get acclimated to generating leads offline versus online. We also have a lot of online ways. So it's not just a single way of generating deals and funding options. So let me go back. And since we're talking about the lead generation opportunities, I'm going to quickly walk you through 20 different ways to generate leads, right? This is really cool because people usually ask me this question, hey, Oz, like, how do I get more leads? And I want to show you how straightforward it is. Again, this is the business of helping other businesses get capital. So I'm going to walk you through a bunch of them: local networking, Chamber of Commerce, Meetup, Eventbrite, Eventbrite, real estate events, associations, LinkedIn. There's so many free ways to generate leads. You don't have to do paid ads. Like there are so many, millions of Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, and they're not people who are offering funding options. Craigslist, believe it or not, I know it looks like it's from dinosaurs age, but it still works. Upwork and Fiverr, you can position yourself as the funding consultant and charge an hourly rate to jump on a call with people to evaluate their funding options. Obviously, friends and family, anyone that you know in your circle either needed money at some point, or they will need money, or they need money right now. Email marketing is hot. SMS marketing is hard as long as you do it compliantly. Local SEO, if you don't know what an SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. Basically, having your website rank on Google search results, which is wide open. If someone is searching for, let's say, I don't know, business loans in Austin, Texas, since this industry is, it's like the best kept secret, right? So a lot of these searches are not even like, they're not people to cover that. And we show you how to do that. Obviously, if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can do Google ads, YouTube ads. If you already have a social presence, such as Instagram, if you're like an influencer, you can use Instagram. Partnerships are huge. That's what, before I knew anything about online marketing, I've grown the business through strategic partnerships. Like, who would be a good partner for you to get referrals from? Let's think about it for a second. Accountants, right? They deal with businesses all day long, thousands of businesses, right? Bookkeepers, believe it or not, bank managers, like their turn downs are over 90%, meaning that their main job is to have new accounts open and retain those customers, right? That's why there's a physical location to make it easy for people to deposit their money, and then you want to retain them. Their worst nightmare is someone walking in, a small business, a landscaping company, and telling them, hey, my machine just broke. I've been depositing money here for the past 7 years. Can I get enough money to buy another machine? Now, no, statistically, they won't be able to approve it. Those are called turn downs. I had over 24 bank relationships, some bank managers, some tellers, some small business bankers referring me leads because they didn't know what to do with those people, right? I talked about bookkeepers and CPAs, salespeople, anyone who's out there canvassing other businesses. Like I used to be one of them, right? So they are looking to make more money. They can be a huge asset for you. And then you only pay them when if the deal goes through, right? So it doesn't cost you anything. Some people are really great networkers. They go out and connect with people. They provide value. I sucked at networking. I'm an introverted dude. I never enjoyed going to networking events, but I learned it because I didn't know any other way. I didn't know how to do paid advertising. I didn't know how to do email marketing. I didn't know anything about online marketing. I said, this is a very common need. People need money. I just need more people knowing about what I do. How do I do it? I just tell people with influence. Who has influence? Any authority figure that works with businesses like salespeople, bookkeepers, CPAs, bankers, they already have the rapport with the small businesses. If I just leverage my offer, which is freaking money, like the sexiest product on earth, make it available to those people, they will refer. And my theory was right. Good old networking. I didn't come up with it. Networking is like a super attractive way to generate leads. And I had an army of people sending me leads, and I didn't have a landing page. I didn't have a website. I didn't have online marketing. I didn't have online presence, right? Vendors, anyone selling stuff to other businesses, right? In restaurant industry, I've built relationships with people who, for example, sell alcohol to restaurants, right? They're vendors. They come in. They want to sell more bottles. Gift card people, like rewards programs people, they walk into restaurants and offer that. I built relationships with that. Vertical specific newsletter. It's mouthful. What it is basically anyone who's sending newsletter or promotional emails to small businesses. You can make a revenue share deal with them. Hey, how often do you send your email to chiropractors on your list? Oh, we send it on a weekly basis. How many chiropractors do you have on your list? 40,000. Okay. What if you can do an email blast, and any opportunity that I get from it, when I fund it, I give you 30% of that. It doesn't cost them anything to push the button, right? What if they were charging a few $100s? Isn't it worth it? Because we know that the average transaction pays you $2,000 to $4,000. If it's costing me $500 to do an email blast, is it worth it? It's worth, yeah, of course, because otherwise I'm going to have to build my own list of chiropractors. I don't know anything about that industry. I'm not a chiropractor myself, but that guy took the time to build whatever he did to have access to those people and their inboxes, and they do text message campaigns, whatever they do, right? So leveraging who you know is one of the easiest ways. So going back to the question the gentleman asked, what is the best software to generate leads? It is non-existent, right? So organic videos. So you're watching this YouTube video with me, you're on. This is a free video, right? I'm using this video to grow my channel so I can reach more people, so I can train more people. This is a form of organic video marketing. So things like that. These are like, I can go on and on and on, like 70, 80 different ways. And within BLB, we do an in-depth training on some of these options. We only use the most prevalent options that are easiest to use for the average user to go through. So because either you're trying to generate side income or you want to scale and grow this, and you need tools that will help you scale and grow this. Any questions? Let me go back to the chat. Do you have recordings? Gregory, we have recordings within a Business Lending Blueprint. Everything is recorded. You also have the live calls. We do have payment plans, Gregory. That's why it's best to talk to our sales team so they can help you decide if this is even a good fit for you or not. Curtis, any way to find the list to refer in the BLB? No, we only we have these options only for the existing BLB members. What I'm gonna start doing is that I'm gonna post a link to schedule a call with our team. So if you are so far interested in talking to our expert team to find out if Business Lending Blueprint is a good option for you, I'm gonna put the link in there. So you can click on that link. It's going to ask you a couple of questions so we can get to know who you are, so I can direct you to the right person. So fill out that survey. It's going to bring you to Calendly. We have options available as soon as like tonight and also tomorrow and Friday. I highly suggest, again, we're not going to, I mean, we have a lot of BLB members here. No one's going to pressure you to do anything. Just have that discussion, understand, because this is a business model that you cannot afford to forget about. So I'm posting a link here. It's businesslendingblueprint.com/survey. Give me a yes if you can see it in the chat. I'm going to start as well. So let's see if I can pin it. Okay. So that way you can schedule the call. Meanwhile, I'm going to walk you through what exactly you get with Business Lending Blueprint. So that way we can start wrapping it up. So this is exciting. I'm glad that you guys joined. So what we provide is actually worth tens of thousands of dollars. I'm going to take a shortcut and walk you through what exactly you get access to. You have one-on-one coaching with our coaching team. So when you do join, you actually jump on a call with our onboarding team, and they walk you through how the system works based on your goals and how to succeed within the system. I'm going to quickly share, and you're going to see the actual value of how much it is if you were to buy it like one by one versus joining a community and take advantage of that. So let me just share my screen and walk you through. All right. I'm just going to read through it quickly, then I can answer questions. You have access to the content portal. So you have 24/7 access to your own login, your own personalized login. You log in, it tracks your progress. We have 6 modules of online training available. So first one is on mindset. And the second one is we give you your own website. So on how to set up that website, we set it up on your behalf if you need to. Then you'll be assigned a one-on-one onboarding coach to plan your success plan and how to use BLB. All the collateral that you need, flyers, blogs, business cards, the scripts, the entire completed website with marketing funnel is provided. You don't need to build it. Imagine you wanting to build your own lending business website. Like, you will need to know what to say, create the copy, hire someone from Fiverr or Upwork and pay them to get that done. Make sure that when someone is submitting a lead, you know how to receive it. Pay for a CRM system to capture that lead and call them. So we have the automated email marketing. You have access to all the partners and the lenders, lending partners, also direct lenders, all the funding options that we touched on, from like equipment financing, the SBA, repeat income options, residual income options. So we only had time to touch on a few of them, but you have access to over a dozen different funding options. You don't need to master them all. You just need to understand that you're backed up by a system. All you have to do is put people through the system. We provide done-for-you mentorship. So you have live calls with my head of coaching, Isabel. She does live calls with the actual lending partners on the call. and I think existing members can attest to that. So you check the BLB calendar for the weekly live events. You actually see what's going on. You can hop onto any one of those calls. They're live. You can ask your questions. We also have an in-house support team. This is not something, our support team is like 8 people, guys. Like you need support, you get support. Like we personally hired and trained each one of them on BLB. Countless real-time marketing strategies. We don't teach theoretical stuff, and all that stuff and more. And on top of that, we also give you, which is one thing I got burned from, is not understanding how to build credit. Like many people have bad credit, or those that have good credit, they don't know how to build business credit. They put everything on their personal credit, under their social security number. There's a whole different way to put it under a business, right? Your own business. And when you join BLB, you also get access to our accounting team to find out the best ways to write off expenses. Even the cost to join BLB, you can write it off. But more importantly, we give you access to an entire system where you learn how to build business credit, how to transfer your personal vehicles under your business, how to grow your business credit so that way you have access to more capital if you need to, how to leverage business credit to cover personal expenses, how to buy up to 4 or 5 cars and rent them out and make money that way, how to buy real estate with 0% down options if you're into that, right? And this is also a program that you can offer other people and make money, right? This is like a referral partnership thing that you normally sell for $1,000. And if you refer someone, if they buy it, we give you 50%. So you're not going to find this on our website and buy it on your own. But for our BLB members, we make it available because I want them to consume it and use it, and also offer it to other people. So it's another way for them to make money, right? So these are all the bonuses that you get. And tonight, if you book a call and if you join, I'm going to offer to the first 5 people who join the call, one-on-one call with our head of coaching. So that way we can come up with a 90-day success plan for you. I'm going to go back to the chat and see. Kathy says, Isabel is great. She's like Oz, wants that BLB to succeed. 100%. And Kathy, yesterday, we just recorded a 1-hour training for YouTube. And it's interesting fact is that Isabel used to be a BLB student, and she succeeded. And I met her at a live event, and then I immediately wanted to hire her because I loved her passion to help other people, because that's skills can be taught. But if someone is not passionate about something, you can't teach passion. You can't teach work ethic. You can't teach doing the right thing for other people, right? So that's very important. Now, Isabel is a part of the game. She climbed through the ranks of within our company and became the head coach. So you're going to have one-on-one call with her. So was everyone able to see my post on how to apply to jump on a call with my team? Because I see it is highlighted here, but I'm not sure if you guys see it. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I see myself too. So that's good. All right, guys. So this is what I'm going to leave you with. If you do have any questions, comment below. I'm going to come back to the video, check it again later. But if you haven't done so, definitely fill out the survey to find out if this is a good fit for you. Then jump on a quick call. It's usually 20, 30-minute call for us to ask you some questions and go through the options to join. We can take you from there. But give me a yes in the chat if this has been useful and you feel like you've learned something, because the last thing I want to do is waste somebody's time. We have a lot of people on the call tonight, but just give me a 1 in the chat and I'll leave you with that. And I'm open to questions if you do have more questions. Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Great. Love that, guys. I'll leave you with that. Thanks for joining tonight. We're over an hour. I promise to keep it at 1 hour mark, so I'm 3 minutes late. Sorry about it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that so you can get notified when we release content like this. If not, I'll see you on the next video. Take care now.